Hey there, this is Aaron Yizer, and I am going to try to bring you up to speed on a couple of projects I'm working on that I'm hoping will help out our behavior office staff, whether that's a dean of instruction or an assistant principal, maybe even an EBD classroom, or you can decide how you want to use it. But I'm calling it the Behavior Office Screener. And ideally, this screener will serve as a chance for a student to tell their side of a story of a related event that might have sent them to the office or is getting ready to send them to the office. It is a structured debrief. Then we'll also work them through some question and answers to get them to the point where they have a script to share with the principal when they are finally in front of the principal. And that principal asks the question, "Hey, what brings you in here today?" So let me show you what I've got. Comparable features. So for today's School AI, I want to show you what's on the screen first, and that is I've gone through this on the left to have the chat to do the creation. I'm not going to show you the conversation that got us to this point. On the right side, I am looking at the publishing details. So yes, I've got a thumbnail on there that's pertinent to the high school that worked with me mostly during the beta processing of this. And there's the introduction and subtitle, the about section, what grade it's appropriate for, and so on. As I scroll down, I want you to notice that this is broken up into 9 sections. Section 1 is just the opening role, where the AI is telling the student what's going to happen, what their role is, and then it's going to jump into some questions that are fact finding, including what is the event type that happened, and they will choose from a list. There will be a debrief of that event. AI will help them summarize and agree upon the story of what student did. I'm going to call this the due process section, I guess. Some possible consequences, growth and wrap up. Although I haven't seen that works great yet in the chat. It's I might have to work on that. I did say it's a work in progress, right? Um, and then the principal script and closing. I will mention that I did upload. I'm going to go ahead and jump over to the instructions and agendas. I did upload into the chat a few documents. So one would be the student code of conduct, acceptable use policy, the high school specific consequence matrix for when this happens, based on those behavior events. Our portrait of a learner for the district, which just has those language keywords that are purposeful when talking with a student, certainly at that consequence and growth wrap up section. And I feel like there might have been something else, maybe a little chart that the high school had related to cell phone policies that were new this year, and some things like that. You will want to do those for your specific school as well. I will not. I'm going to go ahead and drag this over here. I'll just say that I'm not going to read this to you, but I am going to scroll so that you see that there are general instructions, and then on to the next step. And again, this is School AI, so steps are right down here in the bottom center. They call this an agenda in the beta version or version 2.0 of School AI. But back over here now, opening and roll. So it sets the scene, it gives them instructions and talks about adaptations and guardrails. Section 2, again, I'm scrolling and I'm not reading this to you, but I will just jump in here and say it does include quotes every once in a while. And there's some things here that I'm debating taking out. This emotional check-in is one of those things. I've gotten feedback from some of my staff saying, I just want to cut to the chase. The kids don't have time to sit there and do this. Whereas other administrators are telling me they purposefully want it to take a lot of time so that the student has time to calm down their heart rate and their respiration rate to the point that they are really having a conversation. So I'm not sure which way I'm going to end on that one. Maybe I'll make 2 versions. But I'm scrolling through here, and you can, of course, watch this video later and pause anytime you want to try to steal some of that. You are welcome to it. This, of course, is a published space in School AI, and I will try to continue anytime I update it to continue to come back up here and push the publish this space button. There you go. So now we're in section 8 and now 9. Okay, so I hope you had a chance to maybe pause that where you wanted to and go back in and out and really dive in a little deeper. So I have launched that and then gone through the process. For this example, it's just me as a test student. And notice that I'm the only student on this screen. This screen, I'll go ahead and close this for a second. This screen is, to me, what sets School AI apart from all the others. I told you that I would like to get to a point where Google Gemini's gems can be used in place of this, just because we're a Google district and it's nice to be all under one umbrella, one platform. But as of right now, that's what they're missing. It's this screen. It is telling me, of course, there's only one student, but you can imagine having 30 or 40 students listed here underneath this one. It's telling me what progress they are in the 9 steps that I established. It's always going to give me some type of a face here, a smiley face, upset face, whatever. Making progress is what it says now. And it gives me a headline, and you can read through that. You're like, well, where did that come from? It is reading what's going on in the chat as it's happening. Over here on the right side, again, it's got those steps kind of nailed, and I can hover over any of them and it will tell me where my students are. So I can tell which kids are going fast and which ones are going slow. In this case, it's giving me insights based on only this one student, my test student, but you would see that they're all going to be popping up as you go, all students. If I click, however, on just me, just the one name, it's going to give me the full chat history, alerts, and insights. So these are the same insights that we saw a while ago. And I will scroll. These do build from the bottom up, by the way, historically. So it's telling me that you're just showing a readiness and cooperation, brief, reports low mood, and so on. So these are just insights. Imagine again, I am the principal, the behavior dean, and I know that I've got a student right outside of my office filling this out. I can be looking at this while they're doing it. It comes in live. Likewise, there was an area in the chat. I'll go ahead and go to that point in the chat. I'll scroll down a little bit. It's asking me what's my name, what grade, what was the teacher, scale of 10, how are you feeling right now? But then it asks, how are you feeling? And I'd said, didn't sleep much, cold in the house. Very short on details. Just wanted to see if it would trigger the alert, and it did. And so it popped up a critical alert. What you're not seeing right now, because I've already closed it, is anytime there's an alert here, an alert icon pops up on my name on the row, and an alert pops up right here in the top center. I have tested this. This one just says that I'm cold and tired, but I've tested it on self-harm, violence, a few other things that we just don't want to have to think about, but we have to think about. It catches, it's caught everything. Sometimes I wish we were a little bit more sensitive in the alerts, but it catches them at some point. And if it got bad, it actually will lock up the chat. The student will not be able to advance. It will say, we're locking this chat. Please go talk to an adult. This one, it did not lock it. It just gave me an alert. And so you can read that. Again, the whole chat is there visible for me. Like anything else, I can, Control Alt, Control C, something like that, and grab the content. I do wish there was an export. I've put in that feature request to be able to see that. I also wish that there were a timestamp. Let me show you that. I wish it said exactly what time instead of just what day. The day is great. That's better than nothing. But I do wish that it had a time also next to that timestamp. That's getting into the weeds. I'm sorry. What I should also show you is this. I wanted to show you this is what the interface looks like for the student. I'm going to scroll this over here. And it does speak to me. It will read this to me, unlike some of our AI agents. And then I could also use the mic to speak into it. I'll just to show you that. Okay, I'm gonna hit stop here. And I'll just say thanks a lot for watching. I encourage you to play with this and make it your own. I told you about the scenarios that are debating being used in my district. I'm sure you've got your own. So I hope it benefits you in some way. Have a good day.